So I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I've had to really set it up in a way that I could. Um, it's something that you need to kind of plan for in advance, because I wanted to do it. I really did want to do just my regular feed, because that's what inspired this. Actually, I had a lot. I was seeing a lot of people in my regular feed that were just their eyes pure evil, and I want to stress that especially me being somebody who's been abused, I have to live by this rule really, really strictly. You have to be hollow when you do this. You can't assume. If I just assumed that somebody was evil, I'd assume 9 out of 10 people were evil, and really probably only 3 or 4 are. You have to learn this skill and see as owl, like I say, see like owl, see as owl sees. Because owl sees that totem, sees the hidden truth. They see things that no one else sees, but they never get it wrong. They never get anything wrong. They only see truth. So whether it be hidden or not, the owl totem always sees the real truth of things. Always. Nothing gets past owl. And that way, you're not assuming either that they are, bad or good. You're just looking into the eyes. The eyes are a gateway to the soul. And it's actually the easiest way to see not only somebody's, just baseline, energy, but their tendencies. Do you tend to try to do the right thing? Do you tend to try to be a good person? Do you tend to have a heart and actually care about someone other than yourself? Or do you tend to be selfish, arrogant? There's all these different things that you can see through people's eyes. They go directly to the core of someone's soul. You just have to know how to navigate that window and how to open it. You just have to know what to look for. And I thought, what better way than to actually show examples, pair side by side. Okay, this is, something that's obvious and everyone can see. And this is a truth that pretty much no one sees. It's a hidden truth. So I just looked at my feed, and just like most days, I know I'm trying to keep anything that's widely political, anything that's from famous people, or even something that might be viral, like a viral video, out of the conversation, just because fame and viral stuff can be, a lot of people have a lot of biases to that. Political, I don't even want to mess with. So I'm trying my best to find things, but unfortunately, in your feed, that basically narrows it down to very limited options. Usually end up being something on the news that's in the feed, and the news is not usually has many light-hearted stories that I can pick from. So I usually end up having to pick from all these grim stories. There's one advertisement I actually pulled from. But I couldn't really find anything else to pull from, so it's just gonna have to be what it is. I mean, it's kind of the nature of these sort of things when there's only so little that you can subjects that you can talk about, and find the good examples without finding, like I said, without finding too much wildly biased content. This man in the red jumpsuit, okay, he is a convicted, I think, murderer, and you can just tell in his eyes that something is not right in him. You can see that he's got a lot of selfish tendencies, but you can also see that it's almost like he's not all there. It's almost like he is certifiably insane. He's got just that look, okay? Compare that with this one, the one of the woman. She's also a murderer, okay? She's got a lot of very selfish, arrogant energy. And this is what I want to be really careful with, okay? Light and dark energy is never good or bad. So, it's sun, moon, day, night, okay? I'm 100% dark energy. You might be able to see that in my eyes. Okay, you can tell that she's got at least some dark energy there. But dark versus light, that first man was light energy. He was light, so really, or mostly light energy. So it's not the type of energy. It is, you know, you're not looking for day night energy, sun moon energy. What you're looking for is that arrogance, that selfishness, sometimes even perhaps the that kind of crazed look. Okay, that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for anything else. I really want to point that out. You really has got to focus on anything and only the things that would determine what somebody chooses. Okay, the kind eyes of somebody, for example, they're going to choose to be kind. You know, you can look for, you know, the compassion in those eyes. You can look for the heart in those eyes, just like you can look for someone's arrogance and selfishness, you know. So the next one that we want to show you is the last kind of brutally obvious one. It's actually kind of funny, actually. I won't lie, this is funny. This one is a lot of, you know, greed and just, I don't know, she's probably not pure evil, but this is actually an advertisement. That's all it is. It was just an advertisement. And you see the greed in those eyes very easily. It's just brutally obvious. She's actually got a lot. If you can't tell, she's got something missing. And this is why it's such a good example, because a lot of people, their eyes will look very dull otherwise. Now, forgive her elaborate expression, okay? That's part of bad acting, probably. But if you look past that and into the irises, if you look just at that, you can see that something's missing. There's not enough emotion there. So when you see that dull look in people's irises, it means that their heart chakra is immensely shattered. You know, and I once met the kindest lady in the world, but she had no heart. I mean, she did the right thing just because she knew that it was right. But her heart chakra was so shattered that, like, she literally could not feel much emotion at all. So this is the last one that we're going to do, this obvious, and then unfortunately I have to do the hidden truth, which is actually part of the same story. Two hidden truths. It's not, I don't like it, but I mean, that's just, and please, after watching this, please don't think that you now know how to tell the difference between pure intent and ill intent just by these examples. Please don't, because it takes years of practice to master this skill, okay? You can't ever assume anything. That's how people go blind. That's how we get into trouble. So first off, I'm going to show you this guy. And they just released photos of him. I don't think they even have a headshot of him yet. So this is just a random picture. He is the guy that is responsible for killing a 7-year-old girl that went missing a few days ago. And you can just tell immense selfishness in those eyes. I would almost say that he is a legit sociopath, if not sociopath, maybe narcissist. Narcissist and sociopath, the two differences in my eyes is that a narcissist does have the ability to show emotion. A sociopath doesn't really show emotion for anyone else other than themselves. A narcissist is very infatuated with themselves, but not so much so that they're not capable of love, but they just don't usually have love. So this man might have a soft spot somewhere for somebody, but let me tell you, his biggest soft spot is his fucking self, alright? So that's the last obvious one. The next one I want to show you is of 2 police officers giving an update. Okay, this is the update on the guy that, okay, so you see the guy They're both police officers in this photo. So you see the guy on the right. You see his expression. Now, some people might pass that of, oh, he's just rageful. No, rage alone doesn't cut it, because people that have an immense heart can be full of rage, and those eyes don't look like that. There's a lot more to his eyes. You know, and I'd say most of it isn't even rage. I'd say that's not true rage. What's in his eyes is a lot of evil, selfish, and he's a guy that needs things his way, okay? His heart is just muddied with decay. I mean, and you look to the guy to the left of him. The guy to the left of him is a very kind, caring individual. That guy to the left, thank the world for people like him. You see the compassion in his eyes. He's about to cry. He doesn't even really know this girl. He's just, you know, a random police officer, and this guy is about to cry. His heart is immense, you know. He legitimately does feel sorrow. He legitimately is going to have a very difficult time sleeping for several months, if not years, you know. Just from this one case alone, let alone others that he has to do and has to face on a daily basis. I tell you right now, that guy, he's a police officer for all the right reasons. The guy to the right is probably a police officer because he's a bully and he likes bullying people. But the guy to the left, he's a police officer because he wants to help people and save people. And right now he looks like he's about to cry because he just realized that he couldn't save this person. Last but not least, this girl. There's even, if you read carefully, what does it say on top left? What does it say? I think this is quite ironic because I don't think she wrote that. Somebody else did. And if you look at this other picture of her, it's even more obvious. We all like to think that anything that's a child or anything that's, you know, a baby is innocent, but the fact is that that's not always the case. If you see her eyes look a lot like the guy, in my opinion, the guy's eyes that we saw in the guy on the right and the other. I mean, she's got, and she kind of looks like the girl, honestly, the murderer girl that I showed you in the beginning. She's got, instead of dark energy, she's got light energy, but she's got that same nagging, selfish, beady-eyed greed. This is the kind of look that people will kill their own family for the insurance money. That is the look right there. I mean, that is a true sociopath. I do believe. So you have a sociopath that killed another sociopath. And because, you know, most people don't even want to go there. Most people don't even want to entertain the idea that a child could, but I mean, one the other day about a child that killed his mother over a headset, and some people say, oh, it's bad parenting, or oh, he was abused. Well, guess what? I was abused. I never wanted to kill anyone over a headset. You know, in fact, if my parents would just leave me alone and left me in a corner to rot, that'd be better than being hurt. When you're abused, you actually are a lot more grateful of things, usually. You know, misguidance, abuse, there's no real excuse for killing someone because they didn't allow you to buy a headset. I mean, that is sociopath right there. Definition. And the lad actually, he was hurting animals, which is another very early sign of a sociopath. Okay, so he acted on it. This little wee girl probably didn't act on it because we never heard anything massive like that she did. But whether you act on it or not, you're still the same inside. And no one wants to go there. No one wants to go there, especially when it's a child or something like that. But you have to go there to see the hidden. You can't assume anything, and you don't know what you're going to see until you open your eyes and see it.